Dreaming of landing that first developer job? You're not alone. In this video, I'll walk you through the essentials even if you have very little experience. We'll cover building a strong portfolio, acing interviews, networking, and more. So let's get into it. Hello there, I'm Kelvin, founder of Startup Graveyard Africa. We analyze startup failures to help you succeed. I have about 7 to 8 years of experience with web development, so a lot of the tips that I'll talk about are from my personal experience. So let's start with building a killer portfolio. Your portfolio is your digital resume and it helps to showcase your skills and potential. So the first thing you want to do is to build projects. A simple project you can do is to build an e-commerce website. Now, you don't have to build the entire e-commerce experience. You can simply build a listings page that shows a list of products. I should be able to click on each product. That takes me to a product detail page, and I should be able to add it to cart, and then I should be able to navigate to the cart and see all the items I've added, increase the quantity if I want to, and then when I click buy, it can just show an alert or a notification that payment successful. So you don't have to wire an entire e-commerce project, but that shows your ability to put together a series of pages. The next key thing is portfolio presentation. You need to create a clear and professional portfolio. So include clear descriptions of the projects you worked on and your role in these projects. Where possible, add links to the live application or your GitHub profile that shows your code. This allows a recruiter to look at your portfolio and understand your contributions to a project. And of course, as a web developer, make sure the websites are responsive. And finally, make sure you highlight your skills that are related to the job. If you're proficient in Vue, you should state that you're proficient in Vue, React, or whatever other skills that you're proficient in. Another key ingredient in landing your first job is networking. And I understand that networking is hard, especially if you're an introvert like me, but there's a way to do it. Attend online and in-person events. So this is programming events, tech events, and connect with at least one person at each event. That could just be the person seated next to you, but try to connect with at least one person. Usually these events make provisions for networking sessions, so they make it easier for you to do this. Now, after the events, connect with the people that you've networked with online, as well as connect with the organizers of the events. So that way you can see their posts, you can comment or like. Essentially, you're keeping yourself on their minds. So that way, when there's a job that comes their way, they have engaged with you a couple of times online or even in person, and they know this person does this, and they can easily recommend you for the job. While you're job searching, you still need to look for opportunities to keep developing your skills further. There's a popular meme where the candidate is telling the recruiter, I want a job, and the recruiter is asking for experience, but well, the candidate doesn't have experience and that's why he needs the job. The point is, you need to find some creative ways to get that experience. So that could be through volunteering. Maybe you have some friends that want to start a business, you could volunteer to help them set up their company website. You could do some unpaid internships because those are always around. It helps you to work on something live, helps you to work on something that people will actually use. And while you're doing those, check out job boards. So whether that's Indeed, LinkedIn Jobs, Glassdoor, keep checking, keep applying. Also, if you have companies that you would like to work with, for example, mine is Google, make sure you check out whether they have career pages that you could track their job postings. Next, you need to tailor your experience to each job application. So it's very easy to bulk apply to jobs, but it doesn't really work. You want to take time to apply to each job. So that may mean applying for 2 jobs per day. That gives you enough time to prepare for each of these jobs tailor your experience to that job specifically. So first, you research the company that you're trying to apply for, highlight your skills and experience as it relates to the job, then customize your cover letter and resume. If on the job application it says they are looking for a web developer that's proficient in Vue, you could say you have 1 year of experience with Vue and this is what you have built in that time. And then of course, where possible, put relevant links to those things that you've built. This helps to fast track the process of looking at your application, because from the cover letter they start to see some of the things you've worked on without having to go to your resume yet. Now you've done all of the hard work and you've gotten an interview invitation. How do you prepare for interviews? There are a lot of videos that tell you about what you need to know when it comes to preparing for the technical aspects of these interviews. I won't really go much into that. What I would mainly like to focus on is what I feel would help you to stand out in this application process, which is storytelling. At the end of the day, recruiters, interviewers are human beings, and as human beings we like to connect with other people. So a way to connect with people is storytelling. Here's an example. I was in an interview once and I was asked, what is the project that you are most proud of? I went with a project that had a story, and here's the story. So during the COVID-19 year 2020, I was working with a health tech startup at the time. We were trying to build our featured product, but we took a detour to build a COVID-19 tracker for Nigeria. We came very fast together. I was a team of 3, gathering the data, putting together what we needed to present, and basically launched it within a couple of weeks, because there wasn't a central repository in Nigeria at the time we did it. So that was like a real story. It wasn't something made up. It may not have been the best project I had worked on because it was a single page. It wasn't complex, but it's the story element of it that helped me to connect with the recruiter. FYI, I did get that job, so do with that information what you. Technical interviews, make sure you practice data structures and algorithms. Those are like questions that come up very often, and there are many platforms that help you to practice these. Be prepared to explain your code. A lot of time recruiters want to hear you talk through your code, so be prepared to do that. Research the company's culture and values. This helps you to see how you also align with the company, because it's not every company that you can work with or you should work with. And of course, always show an enthusiasm and willingness to learn. Show that you're teachable. If you get corrected maybe during a technical interview, don't get too defensive. Try and take that feedback and see how you can build on it. Follow up and negotiation is the next thing. After each interview, send a thank you message to your interviewer. You can also ask for feedback on the interview. Another thing you can do is, if you have not heard back within a couple of days, say a week, you can still send another follow-up email. I usually like to ask when I would hear back from the recruiter at the end of the interview, so you could do this as well. And if you get an offer, make sure you look at what is being paid to developers for this level and see how that lines up, so you can go into negotiations prepared. In summary, building a strong portfolio, practicing your interview skills, and networking are elements that can help you to land your first web developer job. All it takes is persistence and dedication to the process, repeating it over and over again, and eventually you would land your first job. Subscribe for more web development tips. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Like and share this video with a friend, and tell a friend to tell a friend that Kelvin is making good content like this. Until next time, may the code be with you. See ya.